Well, I'm kind of looking over the damage in the big garden. I've got most things redid in the smaller garden. You know, got things planted again, and that should be okay. Though it is dry, you know, that's something I got to work. I've been hauling water to that garden, but I'm going to have to start on this garden. And like I say, I've got enough seeds to do it. But I was kind of holding off. See, okay, this is the kidney beans here. And the beans that weren't up were okay, you know, and they're coming up now. So before I completely reseed everything, I want to make sure I don't go over where there is already beans. You know, it's been so dry that they've been slow coming up. Where they really came up is down that way, kind of where the shadow is. That was damper ground, you know, because it's lower. So they were all up there. Well, starting, you know, right about in here, you can start seeing a lot of dead ones. So I'm going to have to redo most of this. Though I do see a few. So like there's one that just come up. And there's one just coming up. It was funny because they pushed the bean right out of the ground. Which is the reason there's no coming back. But there is a bean, but you know, here's a whole bunch of that were up high enough that the frost really nailed them. And potatoes I'm not too worried about. Well, here looks like a good bean seed that I can stick in the ground. Yeah, this whole end, well, there's a few, but most of this I'm going to have to redo. But I'm going to have to get water in here first. But a lot of these potatoes weren't up yet. The ones that were up, like right here is one. You know, the frost nailed that. But, like I say, I don't really worry about potatoes. Now, corn is a different matter. You know, this is the Indian corn. And that, it just took a heck of a beating. And it isn't just my corn that took it. Driving around, I have noticed a lot of farmers' fields that, at least like 80% of the corn is dead in them. You know, so they're going to have to do a lot of reseeding. But I'll watch these potatoes. I won't do anything with them because they do tend to come back. You know, like there's one that froze off, but you can see the green coming back. So I won't rush into them. Well, I really won't rush into any of this. Well, the corn. I can put the corn in any time. And I've got the seeds pounded out to do that. And there might be a few of them that might poke through again. But it just knocked it down. But like I say, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of farmers that got taken by surprise. But I got the other garden in looking pretty good. You know, I got most of the stuff reseeded. But she is dry. So, the next couple of days I'll be hauling water because it doesn't look like rain for a week. Looks like hot and dry. So, you're going to take a lot of water. The good thing is, you know, I can pull the vehicle up here with a tank on it and run between the rows. And since the rows are slightly raised, you know, it'll run down. And I seen a gopher playing around here, and I don't happen to have the gun along. I drowned him out. But there'll be some water hauling. But, you know, it's not that tough to do. Just takes a little time. And even the way it is, there's probably enough moisture in the low spot that I can replant that. But it's this high ground up here. I'm surprised that corn, as dry as it's been, that corn was up pretty good. You know, that surprised me a little, because even like the potatoes were pretty sluggish. But you can see, like here's a potato just getting ready to push through. You know, they'll be all right. Here's one that just came through. But the beans, you had to take out at least half of them. You know, anything that was down low enough that it got an early start, she froze. But this high ground, I bet there's seed laying there yet. So I'll water it and I'll give it a couple days and see if anything shows up. I can go ahead and do the corn, but the beans I'll leave for a little bit. But I got plenty of seed for the corn. So that's a job. But I got to start on it on the other garden anyway. Got that in pretty good shape. This takes time now, and I'll have to keep watering that too, you know, until we get some kind of rain, but that looks like a week out.